20, well, I always pick out 21 pieces that are much the same thickness, you see.
Brushes.
Yeah.
Of the rushes, yeah. And so once you have those picked out, you're ready to go. And you must keep them moist. You know, I had some here in the house and I made a mistake of letting them, see those ones there?
Yeah.
They get dried out and then they get brittle and they break, you see, when you're turning them. So now, we'll leave them aside for the moment. So these are ones I picked yesterday. So we bend them like this. And then we go anti-clockwise.
Yeah, you need to be close with it.
No. Anti-clockwise. And you see, it's important to try and hold them fairly tight.
You show your fingers that way.
Fairly tight here. No, that's wrong. This way. So you go, as I said, anti-clockwise. So once you get started, it gets
Easier to hold on.
it gets stronger. The framework gets stronger. St. Brigid was, in ancient Irish times, was very much associated with farming. And of course it brought hope because it was the beginning of the winter passing. And in Connacht, these are the oyster catchers. And the oyster catchers were associated with St. Brigid because they came to Ireland about the same time as St. Brigid's Day. And in Connacht they had a name. Yeah, the oyster catchers is really an American name. But in Connacht we had a name, Gwilla Breed's messenger, that they just came at that time, and that's the way in ancient Irish times. But you sort of have to be in the humour too, you know. I was at it here the other day and I couldn't get the feckin' things right, and it was annoying me. But I made one this morning now, that one. That's a fairly good one. You see, that one, they have to be fairly tight. You see, that one isn't as good. You can see through the heart of it. There's five rushes in each arm, so 20 altogether. That's another one that's rubbishy. And that's a smaller one then. I had 4, but a bit rubbishy. And I use this for tying the ends of them, because it's not, you know, it doesn't stick out too much. It's a rubbery, it's for tying out in the garden. It's sort of a rubbery twine, but it stretches and it's very good. So you see when you get going, you can move on, but you want to keep watching the centre. That is fairly tidy. When I say tidy, keep them tight. And you need really, it's very hard for children to make them because their fingers are too small. So you keep going, well, you keep putting them on anti-clockwise, but you're turning these clockwise. Really, they're going clockwise. Not sure, is there a bit of a contradiction there? But anyhow. And as you're coming near the end, then you have to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's another one to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another one to go here. So this last one then here, you push it up. See, like that. This is the binder now. So you push that in there and push this back down again, and you have the binder. So then you have it. So then you can, that's not too bad, but then you can tighten it up, you know, when you, before you start tying. You can tighten it up. Then you're ready for tying. About enough of this left. This is very cheap. You can buy it in our car in the garden centre. And then the last one, I cut it longer because this is going to be the hanger.
So you measure that down.
No. I usually bother measuring, but this year I have a little stick. In effect, it'll go.
There.
There.
Oh, see this little fella? I have a mark on it here. So I use this for me knot. Just, it's better to have nice even space. So I put 3 knots on it, just to make sure. And then again, you can just tighten, you can pull them here, you see, pull them through this to tighten them again. That's a bit short now. Oh, I'll stretch it. Needs to go in a bit. It's not a precise science, but it's just for aesthetics. It's nice to have them fairly even. I cut that bloody thing a bit short. But we'll get there. I want to make one of them good ones for Father Niall Ahern. I'd love to get it down to him for tomorrow. And I think I'm going to give one to Father Jerry. He's a good man for our parish. And I'm going to go in this evening and leave it on the altar. Blast it. No.
Is that your long one, no?
No. It's nice to try and get a squeeze on them. You see, like that there, where this sort of fans out a bit. And my final one, tighten that a bit there. Put a loop on it. For hanging. Usually people, traditionally they hung them on the back door and it was to keep the house safe for another year.
Inside the back.
Inside the back door, yeah. Now, and now we can trim up. I cut them at an angle, just gives them a little more flair. And just check again to see that they're good and tight. And if they're not, just pick one here. I should have done that before I cut them. You see, that's not a bad one now.
Mm-hmm. So how many have you made in total this year?
I made 8, but 1 or 2 of them I wouldn't give to anybody. But I made more this year than for a long time. It just was in the humour. And I started a week before. And of course Mama was giving me our dining table. But I do clean up after myself, but of course the polish has to come on after. Now I'm happy enough with that. You can still look at it. So then I just use a spray on varnish. I used to have a paint on varnish, but a spray on, you can get a spray on can for both varnish for around €8, and the smallest thing you can buy it costs you €20. So we're as well to spray it now, and that'll complete it. So we have to go out the back because the fumes off the spray is rough enough.
Yachting varnish.
The varnish, yeah.
Yachting.
No.
You see it on the tin.
Close the door there now, stop it. So here we are. And then you want to leave them overnight for the varnish to harden. See, that's the varnish.
Yeah, varnish. Very good.
So that's the story now.
Very good. That's Brigid's
I'm
Cross
going to do this one another
2021.
run while I made this one this morning.